coming on here, talking to you guys, kicking the bobo, answering questions and concerns, and sharing my gifts with you guys. So that's the whole purpose. Not for me to be all perfect and everything, because I am not. There we go. Some more light. Hey, now. Yeah, some more light. Grand rising to you. I hope you and your family is doing well on this rise. I really do. And so on this live, the purpose, welcome to all of you and those who view this video even at a later time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for viewing this live. I appreciate you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, following me. I shouldn't say subscribing, but following me. I think this one is following me, right? Yeah, so thank you for following me on this channel, and a lot, just, appreciating me coming on here, being my authentic self, and, just talking about real things, real life issues, and some spiritual things, and some dimensional things. I never say I stopped saying 3D because I don't know if we're in 3D. I did a video about that. And so I just know that we're in a simulation. This is a dimension that we in. And I feel like we're in higher than they say, because this dimension is really, really challenging one. This is a really challenging one. It's a lot of things here. And so I believe after we able to, play this one really well, and I've been thinking about, like, just a moment here. I've been thinking, like, okay, how do we know we playing this one well? How do we know that we're doing really well in this dimension, this game? Now I want to say, because first of all, we are vibrating on pure love. No matter what's happening in our lives, we're still vibrating on pure love. And this was something that I was made aware of with myself, going through this dark night of the soul, or this, whatever it is that I'm going through. I still don't know what it is, but it's very challenging times right now. However, I noticed that I still operate on the energy of love. Everything I do is on the energy of love. Everything. Love ain't always pretty. It don't always sound nice. But everything I do is on the energy of love. And when you're no longer having to depend on someone else for your livelihood, you're solely depending on you in your partnership with Source. And that is it. That's it. So I just wanted to say that in my welcoming beginning of this live. And so, yeah, something to think about, right? And that's what I like about doing these, is it seems like I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I really don't. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. So I just I just free flow. And whatever uploads come, they come. I want to talk about things that's going on in this 3D, in this dimension. I don't know about 3D. See how it's just like a habit. We just get programmed with saying certain words, and it's just a habit. Just a habit. So, a lot of things happening around the world, and we get so emotionally invested in it. And a lot of these things, the more emotionally invested that we allow ourselves to become, sometimes these things can cause stress. What we call stress. What is stress? What is stress? Because there's good stress and there's bad stress, right? sometimes some people operate really well off of good stress. You know, they have to be, it's like they have to do things when they're backed up against the walls, the proverbial wall, right? And then they come out punching and their thoughts are clear. They know exactly what to do, the steps to take and everything. I know sometimes I operate at my peak performance under that type of stress. Under that type of stress. Like I could just really, it's almost like I'm fully present in the now. Fully present in the now. And I know the exact steps to take, know what to do. I can see things clearly. I can think more clear and everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. So what is stress? What is stress? It's an energy, right? So stress is an energy like adrenaline. And it could be adrenaline that we use to move forward, we're tapping in to the point where we're fully present and able to move forward, and we're tapped into that super consciousness. And our mind is working just like that. And we're getting things done and it's happening, you know. It's that stress, you know. It's that stress where if somebody said, listen, if you can come up with $5,000, you'll get the keys to this, I don't know, Ferrari or something, you know. Or this Lamborghini or whatever those cars, you know, Vipers, you know, those type of cars. And somebody said, listen, if you come up with $5,000 and I'll give you 3 days to do it. If you can do it in 3 days, you'll get these keys. You're under stress, aren't you? If you really want that car, you're under a certain type of stress. And so you go about like you thinking, right? And then you say, okay, let me just relax. You know, but you might can't even sleep. You might sleep just for a couple of hours. Maybe just 4. We might sleep 4 hours, whereas you normally need 8. You only sleep in 3-4 hours. And you up. And then the second day, it comes to you. The second day, it comes to you. And you're like, oh. And then you start making the moves. The third day, you got that money. The third day, you got it. You was under stress, wasn't you? So was that? That was the opposite spectrum, the good spectrum side of stress. I should have looked that up. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, because normally when I know what I'm going to talk about, I'll go ahead and do a little research on it, maybe look up the word and stuff like that. Stress. But this is from an inner knowing. And then you got the opposite side of stress. Like, I don't know how I'm going to, I don't have the money to come up with my rent. I don't know how I'm going to come up with my phone, and you're just stressing and worrying. Now that's the opposite spectrum, because you got worry in there. You got fear mixed up in there. The other side that we just talked about, you got excitement mixed up in there. You got desire. And you're only focused on what it is that you desiring. That's your only focus. The opposite side of stress is that you are focused on what's happening right now, where you're at right now, what's happening right now. And the fear of the unknown is mixed up in that. That's the difference. That's the difference. So then the question becomes, how do I remain on the opposite spectrum of stress? It's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. How do I get on the other side of that and not worry and not have the worry and the fear of the unknown, that I may get evicted. I may, I don't have the money. I don't know how I'm going to get the money. I just don't know. That's the question, right? So the thing is, that car, you was focused on what you desired. So get on that side of it. What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? Okay, I need to come up with my rent money. You might have more than 3 days, or you might just have 3 days to come up with it. See, the thing is, that car, the example of the car, you was okay if you didn't. Because it's not like you are paying a car note, or it's not like you had to have the car. It was like you really desired it. You really want that car. It's a strong desire and excitement of having it. All you was thinking about was the good of having that car. You was thinking about how good you're going to look in that car. If you a guy, you think about all the chicks. Or, the opposite thing that you're going to attract with having that car. You were thinking about, well, shit, if things don't work out, I could sell this bad boy for, way, like, whatever you sell it for, it's 100% come up, right? Because you didn't buy it. You just came up with the money. You learned a lot during that time, too. You learned a lot about your thought processes. You learned a lot about, shit, I could come up with $5,000 in 3 days. Like, I really was like, what was I doing? Where was my energy? I was on point with something. And that's the energy you want to hold with anything. That's what it is. That right there. That energy, I'm sweating again. That energy is what you want to hold right there. That desire, like that excitement. Well, I come up with this money, to pay my rent. Shit, I might come up with more. I can pay my rent for this month. That's great. That'll be a relief for me. And now, I can focus on, this or that, whatever. If I don't come up with the money, dang, I didn't manifest what I needed for my rent, but I came up with the money to move. I got a better deal. Wow. I can move into this, and I'm paying, it's a better place, and I'm paying less. Focus on what it is that you desire. And that's with anything and everything. And it's easier said than done, but that doesn't mean that it's a very difficult thing to do. It doesn't mean that it's easier said than done, but it doesn't mean that it's hard, It doesn't mean that it's difficult to do. You just have to remind yourself. Every day I wake up and I remind myself, what am I focusing on? What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on guiding people. That's what I focus on every day. How can I reach those that I need to reach, that is right now is looking for guidance on something. Right now, they're looking for help with something. What do I need to do? I was reading this book. I recommended this book on my last video. And in this book, he was really going through some stressful things, and that's all he was thinking about. And so anyway, there's a scene in the book that he was getting lessons in race car driving from a young lady. And she was teaching him, focus on where you want to go. Because you can easily, it's coming around this curve, you can hit this wall. And if you're worrying about hitting that wall, most likely you're going to hit that wall. Right? Most likely that's what's going to happen. You're going to hit that wall. And so she was telling him, don't focus on the wall. Don't think about the wall. You're not going to hit it. You're going to be great. You're going to do great. But focus on what it is focus on where you're going. Focus on where you're going. And what it is that you want to do, what you want to accomplish. Now hit it. Bam! And after a while, after coming around, he found himself like, shit, I don't want to hit that wall. And he was heading that way. And then she was able to, control from her side because he was a beginner. And so she was like, stay focused. Where you going? Stay focused on what you want to do. Stay focused on where you're going. He said, oh yeah, let me stay focused. Don't think about that. Finally, he kind of relaxed a little bit, got focused, because when you do get focused, you get relaxed. It's weird. It's a different type of stress. That's why I started out with that. And so he was going around and he didn't think about the wall. He just thought about, zoom, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna do this. And he did it the first time. First lesson. He topped the other amateur drivers. Topped them. At his age, he was older man. I ain't gonna give the whole book away, but I never forgot that part. And there's a lot of wonderful parts to this book. It's called Superconscious Path. And by Chris Duncan. Superconscious Path by Chris Duncan. And so every day, I wake up and I'm like, what are you focusing on? Don't focus on what's happening with you right now. Some of you may not know, those of you who follow my page, you know that right now I'm going through some financial challenges, some serious financial challenges too. I don't talk about it because I don't focus on it, and I don't want to say anything, as I do understand the power of when I speak things. Well, every day I wake up, I focus on what it is that you want to do. Where are you going? Where are you going? What's your priority today? What are you focusing on? And I'm focusing on guiding. I don't like to say coaching. The people like me, we have the different titles of different types of coaches, And they said that I was those who go with these titles, go along with these titles and things, says that I am a mindset coach. I'm more of maybe a spiritual mindset coach, but I like to say spiritual mindset guide. I'm a guide. I'm just guiding you. In order for me to guide you, I must be guiding myself. That's what I focus on. Who am I going to guide today? Who am I going to help today? Where are y'all? Where are y'all? Because I want to get in that mix where you're at. So you know that I'm here. So I think about this every day. Where are you? Where do I go at? And still, where are they? Where do I go? Source told me to get on here and do these lives. And don't worry if nobody shows up or who shows up or what. You just continue to do this. And I will always give you something to talk about. So that's what I do. Follow my promptings. Living super consciously. Living in my creativity. That's what it's about. Hey, Law of Attraction. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. So yeah, that's what I do. And that's what I talk about. Is, moving moving through this simulation with ease. And how do we do that? How do we do that? Right? Because let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. You know, people say, you got to have a positive attitude and you got to, think positively, and what else they say, Well, you got to feel abundant, feel abundant already. And there is some truth to that. But I want to tell you, that's not it. And I know. I know. That's why my clients call me the biggest kept secret, because what I tell you, what I teach is very different than what a lot of people is saying out here. It's very different. And it's not that I know a lot of things either. I never want to pretend that I know everything. However, because of my experiences and because of my gifts, I'm very, very tapped in. And so thinking positive and feeling abundant and, all these things, it all helps. You should feel abundant. You should, think it's positive. You want to think positively. But I want to also let you know that that's not all of who you are. You are everything. Have you ever met somebody that's just like, they're what I want to say, they're not the most positive people. Sometimes we call them assholes. You know what I'm saying? These assholes, but they're very successful. Look at some of the famous people that y'all worship, because I don't worship nobody but me. But look at the famous people that y'all worship and all their idiosyncrasies and all of their flaws and all this stuff they got going on, but they're very successful. And you might say, well, that's because, they worship Satan or whatever. And that might be true. I don't know. Here's what I do know. From my experience, being around wealthy people, at networking events, at dinner parties, workshops, and just mingling and talking with these people. When I was young, I always wanted to get around them and really talk with them. And I wanted to see, was these people really evil? Are they really evil? Really? And what I've learned through the years, and also getting my certification through a very powerful coach, and sitting with very powerful spiritual gurus and going through my initiations and all of that, is that the key to clearing doubts, subconscious doubts, and attracting success to yourself is embracing all of you. It's embracing it. What do I mean by embracing it? It means that you accept that, hey, I can be an asshole. I can be grumpy. I can be loving. I can be positive. I can be all these things. I can be evil as hell. I can be vindictive. I can be forgiving. I can be all the spectrums of all of the energies in motion. That's a mouthful, right? Once you really embrace this, then you see how powerful you really are. And none of these other things have anything to do with your being attractive. what I call being attractive. See, being attractive has very little to do with how you look. That's one aspect. That's just the physical, the avatar aspect of it. Being attractive is being a magnetism for your desires, whatever it is. And it can be good or bad, because this construct is neutral. And your partnership with divine source, or some people say the oversoul, is you doing your part and not worrying about anything else. It's embracing all possibilities of everything else that could occur. Ooh, I know. You're in partnership with your oversoul, okay? Or with source. You're in partnership. You get me? You understand? You're in partnership. The partnership, your part, is doing the actions. Whatever it is that you desire, start moving towards that. This is how you show source that you're serious, that you are a good partner, and that you trust source. No matter what. No matter what's happening in your life. No matter how seemingly challenging it is. Is get up every day. Remind yourself of staying focused. Staying focused on what? On what it is that you're desiring to create, because you are creators. Yeah, you are. You came here to create, among other things. Came here to do a lot of stuff. One of them is, at the heart of it, at the core of it, you are creators. That's why I look around you. Everything that makes this construct real, somebody created it. From where? From tapping in to their connectedness to source, meaning connecting into their superconscious, their super consciousness. This is what all of what we call our ascended masters was doing their best to teach. And when you show up for yourself with that knowingness, and it takes a while to really just know this, like bones to bone, like in your soul, because you can know it from here. The thing is, do you know it from here? In your heart, in your soul, do you know it? Do you know that you're a creator? And this construct is very dense, and it's very heavy. And so it may feel like your soul is fighting through this dense energy to just know that, to just even know it. You know? But every day you just get up, remind yourself. Remind yourself, remind yourself. Remind yourself that I'm a God, God is in this construct. I create my own world. I create my world, the world that I desire. I create it. And I'm going to wake up every day working towards that until I make the exit. Whether I achieve it or not. I might go through some seemingly horrific stuff. My car might get taken from me. And that can happen in various ways, not just a repossession. It could be a car accident like what happened to me. Somebody could steal it, you know. It might catch on fire. And then there's possibilities that I can't think of. Just like anything else in life. Once you embrace all the possibilities, because guess what? You in the physical right now. You in this construct, you just not that smart. You not. However, you came here to experiment, experiencing with what you already know, and you do know all things. Sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? Because it's all in your DNA. Embracing all possibilities, known and unknown. Known and unknown. And once you're able to do that, you just let go. It's like, I probably can be homeless. Am I okay with that? I probably will lose everything I have that's precious to me. Am I okay with that? See, you gotta ask yourself those questions. Tapping in how I'm feeling, how I feel about this. What does that feel like? What does it feel like if I lost everything? What did it truly feel like? Lean into that. Feel everything about it. Okay, dang. Ooh, that don't feel good. You might even cry. And you say, okay, I know what that would feel like. So we're going to cancel that out. Cancel that. What does it feel like if what I desire actually happens? Like really live into that. Lean into it. Live it. Just live it as if close your eyes for 2-3 minutes and live that like you lived that a whole lifetime with what your desired world would look like. It can be your own world or the world we live in. Whatever it is that you're desiring. And every day live in that world. Because your subconscious doesn't know the difference. And after a while, because this construct is going to fight that. Your oversoul is with it. Okay? Living subconsciously. Your oversoul is with it. It's going to make sure that happens. It assists you with it. You're in partnership with it. So it's going to say, okay, I see every day you're living this life that you desire. And it's going to look at what you're doing. Well, what are you doing? Are you moving towards that every day? Are you doing something every day to move towards that? If not, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're lying. You may have to come back here and try this shit again. Or, because let me tell you why. The loudest communication is action. That's why you be like, that's why you assess and come up with a perception or an understanding of a certain thing, or overstanding, because we may not understand it yet, but an overstanding of what a person is doing. Because that's the loudest communication. And so your oversoul is like, oh, okay, I see you. All right. And your construct, the construct wants you to follow. It wants you here in this dimension. But you're living super consciously now. You're living super consciously. And so you're thinking, you're focusing on your desire. What it is that you want to create. That's living super consciously. And everything you do, all your actions is aligned with that. All your actions is aligned with that. When you're seemingly not doing something, you might be just relaxing and having a cup of tea and reading, but you're reading, studying your craft, your gifts, your desire. Right? That's what you're doing. And you're like, okay, what can I do? Well, how can I reach more people? How can I make myself more accessible to them so that there is no blockage? Everything you do is aligned with that. And then when you know that you've done everything that day that you know to do, because we're not that smart. We don't know all the infinite possibilities. We just don't. We're in this avatar. We're having a physical experimentation. So because of that, we had to be limited to see, here's the secret, to see if we can be who we are in our essence while being physical. Whew. I'm going to repeat that one. Because I really want you to give this, I really want you to tap in and meditate on this. You're a divine being who came into the flesh to master all the elements of who you are, to see if you can be who you are in your essence while being physical. This is why those of us who have not yet tapped in, who have forgotten, and we still have not even awakened, I'll say, who have not become aware, we're not questioning yet. That's how you know that you're starting to awaken. We tend to revere those who have, and they tend to walk around like a magician in this construct, and we're like, how are they doing that? And so we feel like they have the answers, right? And they do, you know. That's why it's important to align yourself with the right guide, or, you know, we've been titled coach, but the right guide that will guide you to know how to do this. So while embracing all of who you are in this avatar as a physical, what we call human being, a being, right? You're embracing all of you. You know, if somebody pissed you off, they pissed you off. Embrace that. Don't say, well, I'm an enlightened being and I'm not supposed to be pissed off and I ain't supposed to be. No, hell, you know what? They pissed you off. They actually did something to you that what? You just ask yourself, okay, why did that piss me off? Was that a trigger? Like, did they actually do something to you? Or was it something that was said that triggered maybe a subconscious memory of something that caused you a trauma or something like that? Or did they actually do something to you? You know, did they actually disrespect you or something like that? You know, or was it just something they said that just triggered you? And like, oh, they ain't really saying nothing to me. That wasn't really, you know, for me, or maybe it was, you know, to bring up whatever that was from your subconscious, because now it's ready. You're ready to release it. So you might ask yourself, like, why did that trigger me? They didn't do anything to me, but dang, it was just something she said or he said. That's it. But if they actually like disrespected you and really did something to you, then yeah, you have every right to feel what you feel like that. And you have every right to put them in their place however you do it. We cannot try to control how a person responds to somebody that disrespect them or hurt them in a certain way. Like, I have every right to respond the way I'm going to respond. Because I'm having a human experience, goddammit. It's my experience. It's my experimentation. So it's what? My experimentation for me to what? For me to become aware of who I am. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, pretty, whatever. Whatever it might be. It's about embracing all of you as having this human experience. It really is. Because once you do that, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start operating from love. Pure love. What we call love, anyway. Because there's really no word for that. There really isn't. And understanding that you are in partnership with your oversoul. And your oversoul is looking at what you're doing. Are you lying to me? Or are you with me? Are you living what you say? Because you're that powerful. And if you're contradicting yourself, it shows up. Everything shows up. And some things shows up we don't know. It's like, it's like, for instance, with me, when, I got into that accident, and I've been going through this really, man, you're talking about challenging time. And when I first was hit with it, I kept waking up every day. It felt like I was in a dark tunnel. I just didn't know what to do. What to do. Because I've been through things in my life, but just never this intense. So the intensity of this challenge is new for me. And so my first question was, why is this happening to me? Like, I don't operate on low vibration, even if I put somebody in their place, it's out of love. But I do things to outwardly express my love for myself. So when I give to others, I'm giving to me. I'm actually loving on myself, really, because it feels really good to give, right? It feels, that's why people, they know, even people that have information about the holiday Christmas, when they give gifts, they can't help it, because you know what? It feels really good to give gifts. Like, it feels, the people that's giving the gift get more joy out of seeing you open that gift than you get receiving it. Why? Because when a person gives you a gift, they love it on themselves. That's why it feels so good. So I've always operated on that. So that was my first question. Like, why did this happen to me? Me of all people. I don't do nothing but love. I don't do nothing but pour out love. Now as I'm moving through it, now I'm really steep in it. So I've been learning a lot of things. Giving to myself what I was giving to everyone else. Even though giving to everyone else was given to myself. It's a paradox. But I wasn't personally giving to myself what I was teaching other people, and what I was doing for other people, clients and people like that come to me, certain things, certain meditations, certain spiritual gifts. I just never thought to do them on me, And now I've been led to, hey, when you gonna actually do that on yourself? Well, that's a novel idea. Thank you, Source. I didn't think of that. Recoding some DNA on myself. Doing some healing energies on myself. There were days I was like, I don't know if I'm on the right path. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these gifts. I don't know. I just really felt like giving up. I really did. I felt like giving up. Like, what's the point? But something deep inside me keeps me going. It keeps me coming on here, doing these lives, talking to y'all, going on my YouTube channel, my brand new spanking YouTube channel, and talking. By the way, all of my handles for all of my social media is the same. Tori Loves You Too. I got like 78 subscribers. I'm so thankful. Because, I'll look at it this way. Source nudges me to go on these social medias to talk. I wasn't on social media. I don't really care for it. To be honest with you, I really don't. But should my messages help at least one person to really get that you are a divine being, you came here to while experiencing what you already know is in your DNA. Everything. Nothing is ever truly forgotten. And they really get that down to their soul and start living that out, and they reach out to me for help. Okay, well, how do I live this, Victoria? Help me get going with it and get started with it. Then, you know what? I can make the exit in peace, knowing that I helped at least. Well, what did you do? I helped this one person. I've helped numerous people, but you know what I'm saying? If I, through social media, I got, this one person, and God, you should see their life is just wonderful. And their life is wonderful based on their values. Everybody don't want a Bentley. Everybody don't want, when you have these material things, there's a certain level of attachment that comes with it. Certain level, it's almost like a chain. You're chained to it, with all because there's attachments that come with it, right? With the way the construct is designed, you got to pay insurance, and you got to get maintenance, and then, there's this to pay for maintenance so that if something happens, it doesn't wipe you out, so you're paying that every month, and if you're unable to buy it cash out, you're paying a note on it, a note. And then you got to pay, insurance. And then also the energetic stigma that comes with it. And you might be living out of that mug, for all people know. You got a Bentley, but you might be living out of that Bentley. And then the gas prices and all the things that come with it, Everybody don't want a big old mansion. Especially if you just single and it's just you. Why you need a mansion? All the things that come tied with that. So some people do, some people don't. People want different things. Me, I want freedom. I don't care about none of that stuff. I really don't. I really don't. Because I do understand the value we place on things and why we place certain values on things. It's the workmanship that went into certain things that gives it more value. So I understand that, However, the function of the thing is the same as this one over here, that workmanship went into that as well. And it's doing the same thing. It's getting me from point A to point B. That's all that matters. And I can still look good doing that. Yeah. Yeah. So it just, everything is perspective. And, for me, it's about being free. I want to be able to just, look, my desire is to have a backpack with bare necessities that I need and just travel and see the world. I want to see the world. That's my desire. Yeah, so some people want the big house or just the house, and a nice car and not have to be just stressed about money. And that's it. That's all they want. Some people want more. Some people want several houses. Some people want, just the financial abundance where they don't have to, because people that have money, let me tell you, people that have money don't think about money. They don't. They think about creating. And some people think that you need to have money to begin living super consciously, which is living in your creativity. Because the way the construct is designed, that you need money, because you need money to pay for this, you need money to, maybe to get the materials and different things like that. But you can start thinking from there. Once you start thinking from your creativity, from your super conscious mind, connecting in to the oversoul and what it is that you desire, what it is that you want to create, and you start thinking from there and start living in there. That's why I said take 2-3 minutes and start living that as if you're living it right now, and doing that every single day. And you will naturally feel it. You're naturally going to invoke your feelings about it, right? Because then, boom, someone's going to come to you to go and do this. Call this person. Oh, go look this up. See? And then you go look that up. Something, your oversoul might say, hey, go to this networking event. Because who knows? It may be somebody there that you're supposed to meet that's going to help you. Or you're going to learn something. And you just every day you're doing that. Every day. And you might be working your job right now. But every day you're doing that. You might have a dream that you want to move up in the company you're with. You might love the company you're working for, the company you're helping. Because that's what employees are. They're helpers. They're helping the company in different capacities that the company had to set up to take care of different things. And so you might say, well, damn, I recognize that I'm really good at this, so let me show off these skills, but let me do it in a way where I'm not, stepping on somebody's toes or whatever, and you just live in that. You'll know exactly how to move with it. And then guess what? You might get fired. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that. I wanted to get fired. See, it looks bad, right? You got fired and then you got what? You started your own business, or somebody came along, saw your skills and said, oh, dang, this person is a valuable asset to help me with my company. And they hire you and you're making double what you were making with the last company. You're more valued and you're in a more responsible position, a leadership position. That's how it works, It was one of my mentors I was listening to, and they told us a story about this particular person kept saying how they wanted to move into, they wanted to move into a better house. They didn't know how they was going to do it, but that was their desire, was to move into a better house. And like, man, I need to get my credit together. They started working a second job so that job will be money set aside to have a down payment for the better house. But they kept saying, man, I can't wait to get out of this house. I just need to get out of this house. And this was their thought. They didn't sit and meditate necessarily and visualize it or anything like that, but that was their main thought, because it's what you think about most of the time. Not necessarily all your thoughts are going to, thoughts are things, But all of your thoughts don't create your reality. Do you know how many thoughts we have? It's what you think about most of the time. So, the place that he was living in caught on fire. And he lost everything. Everything. In the fire. Except his life. Because that place caught on fire, and because he had certain things in place, if I remember the story, it was insurance or some other things he had in place. He had enough money from that fire to move into his dream home. Didn't have, and had the money for the down payment and everything. Everything just fell into place. Because we're not that smart. And when you are in good partnership with your oversoul knows what's best for you. It knows, he or she knows what you're going to absolutely love. And those of you who are attracted to my channel, who listen to my messages, you've experienced this before. Whether on a small level, medium level, big level, large level, huge level, tiny level. You've experienced some form of this if you think back. And it was like something else was handling all of that for you. And everything just fell into place with ease. It just like, you didn't hardly have to do anything. Remember that? That's because your actions was aligned with whatever that was that you were desiring. And you was able to let go and just live your life moving towards that. Remember I talked about, embracing everything. When you're able to embrace all of you and all the possibilities, when you embrace it, you're able to just let go and just live and move towards that. It happens automatically. It happens automatically. There we go. Happens automatically. And it may be weeks down the road, it may be a few months down the road, or it may even take a couple of days. And then, because now you done forgot about it, right? You done forgot about it, and then a couple of days, something happens, and all of a sudden you got that. And then you come back to your memory, and you're like, I remember asking for that. I remember just saying, I would like to have that. And here it is now. Right? Here it is. That's how that goes. So, while going through the dark night of the soul, remember these things that I expressed to you. Remember to be thankful. Stay focused. Stay focused. And the loudest communication is actions. Stay focused on your action, whether it looks like things not happening. And you're like, I've been coming on here, and I come on here and I could easily give up because maybe 1 or 2 people might show up, maybe 3, and sometimes nobody. But I know because my oversoul nudged me to do this, right? It just came up, go on here and do this live. I had never done this before. I know that eventually there's going to be people coming on here with their questions, wanting guidance, and I'll be so happy to do it because it feels good. It feels good when, the downloads come and I know exactly how to help them and move them forward, and they know what I've said to them was right and exact. This has been my whole life. For real. And I appreciate each and every one of you that join my live, that ask questions, that ask a question, that subscribe to this channel. Visit me on TikTok. TikTok is where I started. I was doing the most there. I still do. I do a lot of things on TikTok. I'm starting to do more fun stuff too on TikTok. Just playing around, just play with it. Listen, I don't take any of this stuff seriously. We're in a simulation. So I don't take this social media stuff. I don't take it all that serious. Some people live their whole life social media. They think it's their whole life. They think stuff on social media is really real. You don't know if these people is real. You don't. Some of these people are NPCs. Some of these people we don't know. So stop taking it so seriously, man. Just enjoy it. Enjoy. You're receiving uploads to share out into the world. Enjoy doing that. Just do that. It don't matter how many people follow you or how many people respond or like or none of that. Your message is out there now, and it will reach those that it's supposed to reach. It will. It'll reach those that it's supposed to reach. And you'll help those that you are supposed to help. Pay attention to messages from your oversoul. Those messages can come in the form of music. It can come in the form of coming on a live, listening to a live from somebody. You might just be attracted to that person because they're attractive. And I'm not talking physical. And you resonate with that message. And that's because that message you needed to hear to unlock a certain code within you. When you resonate with somebody, it's because they unlocked certain codes. And so, or that message may come through just watching a YouTube video. It could come through a commercial. The message can come different ways. It may not even be coming to you directly. You can overhear a conversation that other people are having, and somebody will say something, and oh, I was supposed to hear that. That was a message for me. You might see some on a billboard, on a truck driving by. The message can come different ways. So be aware of that. You might have been asking yourself certain questions, and the answers come different ways. It comes different ways. When you are nudged to do something, to get something done, then do it. It may not make sense. Just, find a way to, if it's something that you're like, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that done. Just start researching then. Researching about that. Reach out to family members. Do you know somebody who does this or whatever, I don't know. Me, I'm looking for a dream interpreter because my dreams have been off the chain. Off the chain. Yeah. I think I do pretty good interpreting my dreams. I think I'm just curious as to a real dream interpreter, like what they would say. Would my interpretation be what they say too, or something similar, would it or complement each other? Like I would know. I don't know. I really do enjoy doing this, and I was one that really did not enjoy. I didn't look forward to going on social media, any type of social media. But I'm finding the more I do these, the more I'm enjoying them, and I'm noticing that the uploads that are coming out as well. And I guess yeah, I feel like some folks need to hear these messages. So yeah, it's when you are feeling, when you find yourself feeling down, going through these challenging times, another thing that helps me is putting on music and dancing. And just sometimes I be lost in it too. Sometimes I be lost in it. I don't hear nothing in the house. Nothing. One time I was so lost into dancing and really dancing and listening to this particular song. It just was like, I don't know, it was like something tribal or something. And nobody was home. And it was like, dun, 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 on my door. So I had I was in my room and I had my room door closed. I had the music up loud and I was just into it. And it was a little knock on the door. When I opened the door, nobody was there. I'll never forget that. Nobody was there. And I'm like, and so I left out the room. I looked. Nobody was home. It was just me. But it was a literal knock. And I was like, okay, well, whoever you are, you can join me, but don't interrupt me again. Because I didn't appreciate that. And I went back to my music and dancing. Yeah. I've had some experiences in my life. And I don't know. I don't talk about them much. But I have. That confirms some things to me. Now I'm kind of, because I've been doing this, I notice I'm getting where I just let it flow, even on there now. I let it flow and let the uploads come as much as they're going to come. And once I feel like there's nothing else coming, then I shut it down. I'm so looking forward to having plenty of people that come on here that really want to converse with me and talk and get questions answered. And in between answering questions we're having a back and forth conversation. So I'm looking forward to that. Love where I live, hearing the birds outside, and I love being out in nature anyway. I wake up to hearing the birds outside. I love that, and the ruffles of the bushes and stuff with the squirrels. I love hearing that. I could sit and just really get into a good meditation listening to those things. This construct is so beautiful, isn't it? And it's so peaceful and serene and comforting to our souls, our spirit, having those things, It makes me wonder if we, as humans, wanting to experiment with being physical, created this for us ourselves. We would better know, this would be like really comforting and or this is a copy of where we really came from. And we had to come into this avatar in order to be able to function in this construct. But when we make the exit, we go back to where we came from. This is a replica of that. So where we came from is 10 times even more beautiful, right? Because the replica is not the same as the original, right? So when we go back into that, when we leave here and go back to our essence among source, or closer to source or whatever, it's like we have the same thing but only better. And that's why these things comfort us, being in the forest and being in, around plants and beautiful flowers and things. We just love it. It does something to our soul, because whoever created this knew exactly what to create that would bring that type of comfort level to our soul. They were thinking about our soul, not necessarily physical. So the different sounds and music. When you think about music, I think about music. And then human beings created, right? Human creators created different, what we call instruments, to mimic sound. Did we create those different sounds, or were we mimicking the sounds that was already here? Or did we create these different sounds? We said, oh, that sounds like that. And then if you hit it on this side, it sounds like this. And if you do this, or if you take these two and bang them together, it makes that sound. If you take these strings and put it up on here, and it makes that sound. If you beat on it, And then we created how to bring all these different sounds, with, all these different instruments together to make infinite sound we call music. Isn't that amazing? That is so freaking amazing. It's evidence of who you are. And and think about this, the music. It gives us all the different, not all, it gives us a lot of different, right, sounds and frequencies on both sides of the spectrum. Because everything has its polarity, right? Everything has its polarities. So you go from music that can put you to sleep, music that make you cry, touching on all the energies in motion. Think about that. So these instruments give us these different sounds that affect different parts of our bodies. Yeah, there's certain instruments that heal you. You can heal the body. Certain sounds. It's the sound, actually, the frequency. But the instrument is the apparatus to use to make the sound. Just like your brain is the apparatus used, right, to send and receive what? Thoughts. And so you got just different sounds that put you in a mood, like, and you in a good mood. You can be feeling down, and just that music just put you in a good mood. And sometimes you want to feel down. You're like, nah, I want to cry. Just leave me alone. I'm feeling bad right now, and let me just feel bad. And then you put on some music that just make you that vibe with that, right? And keep you in that vibration, just feeling down and bad. Whether it's the words or just the sound. And then you got music that just put you in a high vibration and put you into a deep meditation. All these different things. Isn't that amazing? All these different things, because you are energy in motion. And your soul housed this avatar so that you can express it, so that you can see it through others, because you can't see yourself. This is why having a coach is so valuable. Having a guide is valuable, because they can see you, they can hear you, where you can't hear or see yourself. Yep. Yeah.